Okay, so this is Kassadin versus Irelia coaching. You say definitely tilted this game. Feel like you could have been more impactful, and currently with your games is fine. Your advice on laning and creating gold for myself as well as macro decisions. Okay, so Kassadin versus Irelia is a pretty tough matchup, honestly. Probably one of the hardest ones. Now, I don't really think the setup that you have makes a lot of sense versus Irelia. So Okay, so when I'm thinking of Aurelia, first let's talk about let's just put rune slash itemization. I think that electrocute is really good for snowballing, but this is not a matchup you can snowball. So the matchups that I might consider taking electrocute in would be stuff like um maybe Corky. You could consider taking electrocute, ignite versus Silas. Those champs that you can kind of pick up kills on. Veigar could be another one. Although I'd probably take Conqueror just to get tenacity versus Veigar. But basically what I'm saying is that this is like electrocute should be paired with Ignite, and you basically take it versus like easy lanes. Now, this is a lane where you can't get anything done early, so in my opinion, I would take Conqueror. I think Conqueror is the best scaling rune on Kassadin, at least, yeah, I'd probably say the best scaling rune, and I think that's kind of what you have to do versus Aurelia. Now, for your secondaries, kind of have a couple choices, because in my mind, Resolve is actually not very good versus Aurelia. So if you're versus like range champs, Second Wind obviously is great, right? And if you're against most melees, against like any assassin, normally bone plating is really good as well. But I think versus Aurelia, like Aurelia doesn't poke you, so Second Wind's not that useful. And bone plating also doesn't do a whole lot versus Aurelia, because she can proc it really easily before going in. So in my mind, like this is like either you go Conqueror Domination or you do like or like Conk Inspiration. And the things I think you would take is it would be like so it'd be like Conqueror, Presence of Mind, Tenacity, Last Stand, and then you would take either Taste of Blood Ultimate Hunter or Eyeball Collection Ultimate Hunter, or if you went Inspiration, you'd take Magic Boots Cosmic, or you could even go Futures Market Cosmic, or you could go Futures Market Boots. Basically, there's like a lot of different things you could run. But I think the kind of setup you ran this game is not really that good. I think you should kind of, like, your default should be like Conk plus Resolve. I think that's like the best. And then, yeah, so basically it's going to be like Greedy is going to be Conk plus Dom slash Inspiration. That's going to be your Greedy option. Also, or if you can't, well, it's not even or if you can't do anything early. It's more like if you're not going to interact with your opponent, which is kind of like what you want to do here. And then finally, the last one is Snowball, which is like Elec plus, I guess you can be Resolve plus Ignite. So yeah. And then the second thing is Doran's Shield. So I also think that Doran's Shield is, I think if you're going greedy runes, then Doran's Shield is probably fine. But I think if you're going or the kind of safe runes, then you should actually probably start something else. So your options could be you could go Dark Seal Refillable, you could start Tier, you could even start Ruby Crystal 2 potions if you really wanted to be safe. Basically, Aurelia is a champion that doesn't really punish you a lot early, but she punishes you very hard at like level 3, and she'll also punish you really hard after level 6. So in my mind, I think the Doran Shield doesn't make a lot of sense here. Again, it's kind of weird because I think Doran Shield is good against most champs on Kassadin. But I think here, I would say, yeah, I'd probably say it's like Dark Seal plus Refill. You could even do Ruby plus 2 pots, although I don't really recommend that. Tier plus 2 pots could be good as well. And again, like if you go greedy runes, then maybe you go Doran Shield, because you don't want to go too much greed, but at the same time, you don't want to go too much safety, because then you're just kind of like losing out on scaling. Okay, but let's actually get into the gameplay. So you're up against Irelia and Kaiser Jungle, I think it was. Yeah, Kaiser Jungle. So you just want to keep the lane on your side. There's not really, like, yeah, as you'll probably see that you're not going to get much out of Doran Shield, I wouldn't think. Now in this matchup, I think you probably want to start, I would probably start E, but you can start W if you want. So the reason I would start E is because, one, the slow is really nice to get Aurelia off you, and two, every time she Qs, it's going to put her lower on cooldown. So I would start E, and I'd probably use that to, yeah, I probably wouldn't last her that first creep, because, like, yeah, like what you're doing here, you really want it to come towards you. But you can kind of see that it's a bit... Ooh, I feel like it should be kind of scary to walk up to creeps like that. But anyway, I mean, if you get away with it, it's probably fine. The main thing is just, yeah, you really want a good wave state here. I think that's like most important. So yeah, I think like trades like this make you need Doran's Shield, but also I don't think you really need to get hit for this, you know? So like, okay, right here, she's level 1, you're level 1, you walk up and get the creep, okay? You didn't get the creep, now there's nothing else to do. You pretty much just need to wait and let it come to you here, because there's nothing else to CS. But instead, it's like, even though you're full mana, so you don't get any mana return from here, you end up actually walking up, and you just lose a lot of health for free here. And so, like, sure, if you trade really badly like this, you probably do need lots of extra sustain. But you just lost, like, 300 health or something for literally nothing. So, I think you could definitely get away with more greed if you just, like, kind of fix this, yeah, let's, like, random stuff. And also, I don't think Irelia will kill you without Ignite, but she could probably deny you quite a lot of creeps. But yeah, this is good. Wave ends up under your tower. I'd probably take E here as well. Yeah. Okay, should be able to get a fair amount of these. Probably get these last two. Yeah, I think, yeah, probably could have got one more there, but honestly, like, it's fine. Like, you're expecting to be really far behind versus Irelia. But yeah, I really want you to kind of realize that your runes and an item haven't really done anything for you here. Like, Doran's is best when you're getting hit a lot. Electrocute, obviously, if you can, like, look for all-ins and stuff like that. So, yeah, right now, you're kind of playing a champ without any runes or items, which is like, Kassadin's already weak early, let alone if you take kind of like the wrong setup, I suppose. Good dodge. I think this might have just been a misclick, but you always want to prioritize hitting creeps, obviously, because Kassadin can't get kills in lane, at least not versus good players anyway. So you just want to make sure you scale up as much as possible. And I think, yeah, even though you have like resolve, I assume you've taken, okay, actually you might have gone the scaling resolve runes. Like if you went conditioning and overgrowth, then I think maybe that's fine. Personally, I prefer the scaling from other trees, but if you went that, then I actually don't mind it. But yeah, I prefer the scaling from other trees. But if you do want to get tankier, like, yeah, that makes sense. Jungler's dead here. What was the note? Jungler's dead. Malkin level 1, both. Yeah, no. Yeah, you can't roam to this. What you did here was correct. Like, if you go to a fight as a level 3 Kassadin without Ignite, you are just not going to do anything. So, I think you made the right decision here. Okay, I think you could work on your CSing under tower. Like, a lot of the time, yeah, you wanna kind of use, like, Q or auto W. So, like, you can Q auto or, like, auto W, and that'll make it easier to CS. Because I think, yeah, okay, this guy flaming you is just retard. Like, I don't know. There's nothing you can do here. So, don't worry about that. You probably are tilted, because that would tilt me too. But, yeah, there's nothing you can do there. So... Now, the thing you can do, though, is you're kind of like... The thing with Kassadin is you're like putting your team at a disadvantage early to then pay it off with like a massive advantage later on, right? So if you don't scale up as much as you should because, yeah, maybe you don't have the best scaling, or maybe you took defensive things that you didn't need, or you missed too many creeps, like those are way bigger problems. Now so this is kind of hard. It's hard to expect that the support is here because it requires you to have like really good awareness of what was happening bot lane. But I think just in general, if you're like at the halfway point of the lane, you need to kind of ward one of the sides, because you never really want to be hugging the middle of the lane. You always want to be like hugging bot side or hugging top side, even if it's like up here or down here, right? So just as like a general rule, let's put some laning phase stuff. So laning phase, like general rule, if you're at halfway point of mid, try ward. Normally, you want to ward slightly outside of the bush. Like, Kassadin, you don't have a lot of priority, so you don't have a lot of time to actually get deep wards. But what I would recommend is just, like, warding slightly outside the bush, because it gives a lot more vision than inside the bush. So just, like, yeah, try to take a little time to ward a bit further out. Obviously, if you have tons of time, you would want deeper wards, right? But it's not going to happen on Kassadin, so just ward a bit further out. And that will kind of keep you safe from stuff like this. Because I think losing your flash... It's honestly not the biggest deal in the world, but at the same time, it shouldn't really need to happen. So, yeah, but you're just... Yeah, I think you're kind of doing fine here. Trades like that... I mean, I don't think it really matters either way, to be honest. Okay, so here we just focus on CSing. Okay, so I think you honestly should kind of work on your CSing on a tower because it is pretty important as Kassadin, and I think the way I'd do it would just be like in practice tool, just like shove the wave to the enemy's tower and then just like let it bounce back to you and try farm a huge wave. Because I think like here, what I'd probably do is like, okay, auto, just let this creep die and then like auto that creep and save your W, and then you can probably auto W another one, Q auto another one. Yes, okay, so you should have been able to get like 1, 2. I think you can get like 3 more than what you got here, and those are all going to add up. So, yeah, it kind of sucks because, yeah, Kassadin just sort of has to deal with this. But at the same time, because you have to deal with it, you kind of need to get better at it. So this is the scariest part of the game, is when the wave pushes back out to Irelia and there's not much you can do about it. I think if you can crash this wave before Irelia gets back, it'd be great, but I don't think you should be able to. But okay, yeah. You need to back off, like, right now. Like, you don't have flash, and... Yes, you're just... I think she could have killed you here. So, I think that because Irelia based before you, you kind of need to base at some point here, right? Like, you probably want to... Yeah, I don't think you can ever shove it all the way in, but you want to make sure you base before she comes back. But yeah, this is like a really tough situation, and there's not a whole lot you can do about it. This is kind of the reality of playing Kassadin early, is that sometimes you're going to end up in fuck situations, especially if you're versing like the strongest 1v1 mid laner, probably. So ideally, you would call your jungler to help push this in, but your jungler is like nowhere nearby, and yeah, you should definitely die for this. Because like right here, you don't have slow, and you don't have flash. If Irelia just like... Yeah, if she just Qs on you, if Qs that creep, and then... Yeah, she could have also got more stacks. And I think she should probably just chase. So yeah, I think she should have killed you there, and also your wave will be really fucked. I don't think there's a whole lot you can do about it. I think, okay, the best play for you is right now, I think right now you probably base, you TP back, and then you just try and get like as much like XP as you can. And then once you hit 6, you can probably start to play again. If it's a bad Irelia, she might just fix the wave for you, which would be really nice. Because that's kind of what she did here. Okay, so I would probably not stay on this health. I think you're... Ideally here, you're basing for like either tier Dark Seal or tier Ruby Crystal or even tier Sapphire. I don't think there's any way that you can wait long enough to get like tier Catalyst or whatever. So I think this is just... It's kind of like... Yeah, it doesn't really make like a huge difference. I guess you got a bit of extra gold there. Maybe it was worth staying, although... Hold on, let's see. So... You end up... You base with 935, so you have enough... Oh, wait, but you don't have enough for tier. Okay, never mind. So actually staying here was bad. And I'm not sure why you didn't buy tier. I guess the reason is you wanted Catalyst early. But that's pretty much... Like, okay, if you really need Catalyst early, then you probably need to either... Like, you can't delay tier by this long. So if you really need Catalyst early, you either need to, like, start Sapphire refillable or start Ruby Crystal 2 potions or even start tier. But yeah, you never want to delay tier this late. So I think, yeah, okay, things so far, I think, like, prioritize CS above, like, trading. I think that's pretty important. Try not to, like, lose lots of HP randomly, like at that like level 1 thing where you just walked up and lost a lot of your health. Like, you got to remember, the enemy is always on the clock when you're playing Kassadin. Like, you just outscale monstrously. So even if you go down like 30 CS, you're probably winning. Now, you don't actually need to go down 30 CS, but if you somehow have to, I think CSing under tower probably be pretty improved. And yeah, the itemization thing, I think, like, you if you didn't start tier, you need tier first base. And yeah, it's kind of... You can't really delay it this long, I don't think. It just, like, slows down your scaling by way too much. And that's actually the thing I would say the most. Like, to be honest, if you're 30 CS versus Irelia's 50, but you've got, like, some scaling runes, you've got a tier, it's like... You're doing pretty well. And honestly, I would still say you're probably winning here. But you could be winning by more. I don't think there's really any way Kassadin can be up CS on Irelia. But... I think you can have better scaling, essentially, while doing this. Yeah, so this is fine. You're chilling. So now you're level 6, so you can kind of, like, start to play the game a bit as this wave goes out, which is probably what's going to happen. Maybe she'll keep pushing it too, which would be kind of nice. Oh, I don't know why the quality just went awful. See if I can get that back. Hold on, I'll just restart this. Like 640 some. Oh, hardstyle, respect that. Alright. Hardstyle Kassadin, it's kind of a given. Alright, so the wave's pushing back out, so here would be a good time again for you to get your wards. Yeah, try not to ward in the bush, that'd be good. Yeah, okay, I like that ward. Roaming bot here. Ooh, so you ran into Kai'Sa, that's really weird. So you can probably just walk away, because she doesn't have any damage. That sucks though, because yeah, you probably could have done stuff bot. Okay, so that was pretty psychotic, and you definitely should have died. Probably still die. Okay, so you actually got out. So, okay, two things here. The first off, I think roaming bot here is probably good, but one thing to actually keep track of when you're like entering the river like this is pay attention to what your mid lane is doing, because like right here, if you look on the map, Irelia is actually following you, which means like the enemy jungler is probably here, because otherwise like she would probably be focusing on the wave. So that's like maybe a little clue. But here, so either you have like two choices. It's either you just go back to the mid wave and you keep farming, or you kind of like stay around and you wait for like Samira or Kayn to engage and then you follow up. But I think you engaging first, it's just never the play, because the problem is you really need to get out of this fight on high health so that you can keep farming. Even if you don't die here, it's really bad because it's going to stop you from farming, which is like, that is the most important thing on Kassadin, is just like keep on farming. Yeah, so you have the catalyst here, which is great, but still no tier, which is really not great. Okay, yeah, this is fine. Like, Irelia is out of mana, so you can actually play however you want here. In fact, you could probably just push if you wanted to. I don't think she has... I mean, she has corrupting. Yeah, maybe she can stay. This is fine. Like, if nothing happens, if Irelia doesn't get any kills, like, you're doing great. So, probably push this wave. Reset. That's annoying that she freezes that. You base. Okay, so are you just not building tier or something? So I feel like having no tier by now is... Hold on, I'm just gonna cheat and skip through and see what item you build. Okay, so you end up buying a tier, but you buy it after... Like, I don't know how easily you can see it, but... you end up buying a tier, but it's after you've completed your row, which means it's gonna finish really late. So the thing with tier is that you don't have to buy it first item, like before... You don't have to buy as your starting item a lot of the time, because you're still going to finish it in time for your second item. But you still want to buy it pretty early in the game so that it's finished by your second item. And also, tier on its own is still really good for Kassadin. Like, even before you upgrade it, it's still really good, because the mana obviously is really nice in Kassadin. Like, it helps you do more damage and stuff. So, yeah, I really think you've got to buy that tier a lot earlier. Okay, it's good. Yeah, so she does some annoying shit. Okay, yeah, like, yeah, if you still hadn't bought tier by now, I'd say it's like boots tier or something. But yeah, it's like, it's really late. It's gonna make you like a lot weaker. I don't know why this guy is so weak. He's just kind of behind. So I think here, you don't really want to trade with Irelia at all, because you don't win extended trades, and she has a lot of life steals. So pretty much when she goes on you like this, you just want to ult away straight away. Like, I think you kind of trade a little bit back into her, but it's not really worth it. Like, she just life steals all that back anyway, and you just kind of lose health for free. So I think that all doesn't really make sense. But, you know, again, to be honest with you, this is probably Kassadin's hardest matchup. Now, Irelia hasn't played it very well, but it's a horrendous matchup. Okay, so walking down here, I think this is fine. Like, the mid wave is still far away. You're walking with your jungler who has CC. I don't know where Maokai went. I guess he went to kill the AD. Okay, yeah, so this turned out really bad. But it's still a good decision. I think you just misplayed it. So, okay, at the start, I think that okay, first, when you roam bot, killing the ADC is the most important thing, because if you kill the ADC, you deny the ADC farm, as well as get the kill, right? Whereas if you kill the support, sure, you kill the support, you get the goal, but you don't deny any farm. Now, here, the problem is, it might be that Maokai can just kill Draven without you, but the problem is that we can't see Draven because you haven't looked at him. So we don't know if Maokai needs your help killing Draven, or if you can just get this Leona kill for free. So I think, okay, so it turns out Draven did just die to Maokai, but the problem is I don't think you can do that because you just like didn't look. Now, for actually killing this Leona, I think if we're actually killing Leona, I think just a big mistake was when you missed ult. Like, what I'd maybe do is, like, you could either hold your E for, like, a second longer so you can slow her first, or just, like, wait for her to commit to a direction, or even wait for Maokai to come back. But I think, yeah, coming down here and dying, this is, like, really, really, really bad. So, one thing that is kind of important is, like, I don't know, I guess you need to just, like, value your life a lot higher, basically. I think that this play is probably good. In fact, no, I think the play is definitely good. But at this point, like, you have to know Irelia is coming, and you just need to make sure you at least live. Like, sure, you fucked up the play, but now you can still get out. And because you don't, like, again, you just missed tons of farm. Is it coming out here? Maybe clean up some kills. Yeah, I like coming to this. Nice, you got one. Maybe get another. Okay, so we get two, maybe three as well. Yeah, I think you just... Ooh. Okay, maybe you just ult over a wall or something now. Okay, so I think you could have played this a lot better. Like, you... this might be another thing we have to start thinking about, but skirmishing execution is really, really important. Just like how you use your abilities and stuff. And ideally, you want to, like, think before you use your abilities. A lot of the time, you don't have the time to actually think about it, but it's sort of important. So, I think the E at the start is probably good. Actually, no. Okay, so the E at the start is actually bad. So first off, you want to keep your ult stacked here, because when your ult's stacked up, it does more damage, right? So what I'd probably do, try kill Leona with your ult. So you ult onto Leona, and that means you still have E for someone else. So right here, we could E the Draven early, and we'll have E back up again. Here, you probably... yeah, so that was unfortunate because he flashed. R ends up missing, but I think that's fine, because you probably don't want to flash ult. I think here you probably... oh, wait, did you miss flash ult? Hold on, let's see. Shield. Okay, yeah, I think that hit. I actually can't really tell if the flash ult did damage or not. I think it did, though. So, yeah, okay, it looks like it did damage. And that guy kind of flashed out. Okay, I actually think most of the fight was played well. It was just the start of it was kind of bad. I think, like, that... not keeping your ult stacked at the start, and also, admittedly, it is harder because you just have less mana because you don't have tier. But that's like another reason we go tier, right? It's just going to do quite a lot more damage. Okay, so again, buying steel caps here, it's not good. So this is just delaying your scaling by way too much. I think your ideal on Kassadin, like your ideal build, okay, is like... this is like the greediest you could get. It would be something like tier. It would be literally just like tier, catalyst, Roa, archangels, basically, right? Now, realistically, you can't quite be that greedy. Like, you might want to go something like tier, or no, actually, more likely it's something like Dorn Shield, tier plus boots, catalyst, Roa, tier 2 boots, Archangel. You know, it might be something like that. But you don't want to do these things unless you need them. So, like, this game, the Dorn Shield was unneeded. I think tier 1 boots, but tier 1 boots I think was fine. I think the cloth armor that you bought was unnecessary. You're already tanky enough with Catalyst. And tier 2 boots, really unnecessary. In fact, I might put tier 2 boots... okay, this is like... I'm going to put an equals sign here, because I think at this point, you can buy either of them, just depending on like what your gold is at. But yeah, this is like really bad. You're starting to stack your tier at 13 minutes, and you still are not even close to Roa at 13 minutes. I think like normally you're finishing Rod of Ages at around this time, like the 13-minute mark, if you don't pick up any kills, 13 to 14 minutes. So not having it now It's like really late, and to be honest, you're just not getting you're not getting what's OP out of Kassadin here. You're just like, you're not really scaling at all. Because you're just hitting the item spikes way too late. So I'm not sure why you went tier 2 boots here, but it's really unnecessary. Normally, Catalyst will give you the tank stats you need. And if you want to buy, like, steel caps later, like, honestly, the steel caps are probably good, unless you need Merc Treads for Leona. But honestly, I think I like the steel caps. I just don't think you need them this early. Not before you have your scaling items. Okay, so here you just kind of instantly die. Okay, so next thing is when you play... So let's make a little team fighting thing, because this is kind of a skirmish thing too. When you're team fighting as Kassadin, normally you want to try find a flank, and target priority is really important too. So ideally, you know like who the most important targets are, and then find a way to flank them. Because if you just play like a front-to-back team fight on Kassadin, where you're just like grouping with your carries, that's not really how Kassadin works. Like if you're a Victor or something, sure, this is fine. But here it's like, okay, if we look at that scoreboard, I think that Kai'Sa looks like the most important target. She's 5-1. You could maybe argue Draven is pretty important as well. Irelia, I think, is too hard. She's too tanky, has lifesteal. And Leona, Tom, they just don't matter. So, like, right here, you need to be looking to go on this Kai'Sa, or, like, threaten the Kai'Sa, or try and have an angle that if Kai'Sa goes in, you can punish. Because instead, you're just stacking on top of your Samira, and it makes it really easy for the enemy team to play the game if they just see where the flanking champ is at the start. So, obviously, I think you're really behind here because you don't have the items you need, but also the way you like stand in the fight or way you position in the fight, it just makes it too hard to do anything. Like you're just never going to be able to do anything there. So I would say the best spots to be is like you could either be over this wall and try and engage with Maokai. You could be up here and try and engage when they engage, or you could like be maybe like over here and wait for Kai'Sa to go in and go on her. But I think just like grouping on your carry in front and like where everyone can see you, that's like the worst possible place you can stand. So yeah, you die, and I mean you're just no closer to getting your items basically. Okay. So, okay, this also is... Okay, this actually isn't too bad. Actually, it's a little bad. Let's see. So, normally in the mid-game, especially as Kassadin, you really don't want to share gold and XP with other people, right? And here, you're sharing gold and XP with Varus, which doesn't really make sense. Samira's farming bot, so you can't really go there. But I would probably go top here, or maybe if Samira comes mid, then you go bot. You really don't want to be sharing gold with Varus, though. Like, you're too weak, really, to fight. Okay, Varus just, like, one-shot that guy. But yeah, basically, like, by being here, you're not getting any gold, and you're not getting any XP. So you're just gonna get your items super late. Okay, I think you're out here. Somehow... Okay, so you just, like, let that guy Q on you. I mean, that just doesn't really make sense. I think you just die. Yeah, I mean, maybe just, like, underestimate her, but it's a Bork Irelia that's kind of like a full build Irelia, basically. Yeah, there's basically no reason to leave your tower here. You can just wait for the wave to come to you. You don't really need to worry about dying or anything. You can just, like, sit and farm under tower. This is pretty much what you want to do there. Okay, so you managed to farm mid. I think you're fine here, so you get out. But yeah, it's like you have 97 CS at 18 minutes. And to be honest, once you fall behind on Kassadin, it's actually quite hard to catch back up. Because you're just like too weak to actually pick up kills. So I think you're finally going to get Roa here, but it's... Yeah, it's like a 19-minute Roa. So you don't have it stacked until 29 minutes, which is very late. Because normally Kassadin is pretty strong. I would say by around 20 minutes. You know, like right about now. And the game's actually pretty even right now. So if you were strong, like potentially you can win here. Okay, so walking bot, I think this is good. I think Kane might just die, honestly, but I like going bot. Okay, he misses. Yeah, if you can get this kill. Okay, so I think you kind of misplay this pretty hard. So Irelia has like a lot of lifesteal, right? So you really want to try keep her almost at range. Like you want to just like E her and Q her and then ult on her when you can get the kill. So like right here, just E and don't give her auto range. and then like she dashes through you, you miss E, and yeah, you probably just need to run. So part of this is like you're really, really weak, right? But at the same time, I don't think you really played it how you want. So yeah, I guess it would just be like think about like what your champ does. Like you're a burst champion, right? So you want to get in, deal damage, and get out. You don't want to just be trading autos with an Irelia. So you, yeah, like this, just do a little bit of damage, either fully commit and then kite out, or just like don't commit at all. But yeah, I mean, just like look at the difference between the two. Like she's 6-0, she has 90 more CS than you. There's just no way you can win that fight. Well, like you can probably win it because she was so low, but like yeah, you shouldn't really be able to win that fight, you know? Okay, let's just push this out. Kindle Gem. Yeah, I like the Kindle Gem. Spear's farming mid, so yeah, you should probably go top here. Yeah, I think right here. Okay, first off, yeah, I think you need a base because Irelia is showing top, so you can't stay. But I'd probably path straight top out of base here. Varus is farming bot, Dragon's not for a while, Smear's farming mid. So if you just path around here like this, then Kayn is going to steal your top farm, which is not what you want. Like, you need to be able to get some farm on Kassadin. Like, sharing golden XP like this is really, really bad. Although, if you can get a flank here, like, this is good. But, like, you would be able to TP into this fight or something. I don't think you want to just be starting fights like this, you know, kind of hoping that something's going to happen. Okay, but good flank. Like, I like the flank. And I also like that you switched to Draven, because that's, like, who the CC was on. Leona gets out, but it's whatever. Like, if you could snipe Leona as well, that would be great, but I actually like how you played that, other than the start. Okay, Tom's the only one left, really. Nice cancel. Okay, so I think going on Leona is kind of bad. So, let's see. Like, think about the target priority a lot, right? So, Tom's the only person you can hit right now. Here, though, right here, you have a Kai'Sa who's like high HP, and Leona does 1 HP. But the Leona is pretty useless. I think here, you just go on Kai'Sa when she goes in. And then Samira just like cleans this up way quicker. And I think you can't kill this guy, you probably just run. Okay, nice, you managed to get out. So here you just run straight bot after. There's like no way you can contest Baron, and you just want to keep farming. So I would actually say probably don't base here, because I don't think you can defend anyway from an 11-0 Irelia. I'd probably would have farmed bot and let someone else farm mid. You just like want to try find opportunities to CS basically. Okay, I think it's fine to be mid here because like no one else is. Sharing XP with your support sort of sucks, but sometimes you just have to. Okay, they're on Baron. Yeah, this looks pretty bad. I think you need to find a way to stack your ult at least a little bit. Like, this is a 0 stack ult, so it's going to do, like, no damage. You probably want to stack it at least 2 or 3 times before you start this fight. Probably 2 times. Because, yeah, this is just going to deal no damage. I think hitting Leona is probably not the best here either. I think you probably want to... You probably want to follow Kayn. Maybe find a flank or something. It's kind of hard, though. Like, this fight just looks fucked. Okay, yeah, so I don't really like this either. I think here, like, you might not be able to kill Draven by yourself, but you can kind of threaten him. You know, like, if you walk forward, I think Draven will be threatened. If you just use all your cooldowns on the 2 tanks, then Draven doesn't need to care about you at all. Like, yeah, I don't think this is... I don't know. Again, part of it is that you're so far behind that you can't really do anything else. Like, yeah, you just kind of get one shot. But also, Kassadin is not meant to just, like, kill the front line like this. Like, he can, but it's much better if you're just able to flank. So I don't know, I can kind of see why you're scared to do that, because you are just insanely weak. But yeah, I don't know, maybe we'll work on that next time after we kind of get you like just a bit more fed than we're doing right now. So you end up like, what time is it and you still don't have tier? It's 26 minutes and you still don't have 2 items. So no matter what champ you are here, you're just gonna suck. This hits you and you die. I mean, that is kind of whatever. I feel like deaths at this point, it's like so much stuff has already gone wrong that any more deaths are kind of just, yeah, kind of a product of that almost. So let's just kind of skip through the rest of this, see if there's any more fights. I think you're out. Nice. Yes, okay, so you finally get tier and it's still not upgraded. And this is at 28 minutes. So yeah, this is way, 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 way too late. Yeah, I think even if you're fed, it's pretty impossible to beat Irelia that's 1v, like, in 1v1. So, okay. I think that's the game pretty much over. I'll just skip through, see if there's anything else. Okay, no, that's it. Alright, so what I would say... So, let's talk about what to work on. I think you can actually make quite a lot of progress pretty quick. So, the first thing would be fix the runes and build. So, I think the most important thing is that, like, your first base, like, get tier, and then, like, try rush, Roa, and Seraph's ASAP. Ideally, don't get tier 2 boots until after you finish both of those. You can get tier 1 boots, but normally don't get tier 2s, unless, like, you base on really awkward gold or something. But, yeah, so try get those. Also, I think I would personally, if you want... Yeah, I'd personally just run Conk plus Resolve pretty much every game instead of Electrocute. I think Conqueror is a lot better. Or you could try out, if you really want to be greedy, you can try other pages like Inspiration / Domination second, but like this works well basically every game. So it's like you can optimize this a little bit, but this is almost not important at all compared to this. Like right now, you just need to get your items like way quicker. Yeah, we talked a lot about like this item like optimization up here. That's all stuff you can think about. I think probably like warding, if you go, or yeah, I'll put warding just like if you, actually no, your warding was okay. Yeah, I guess like if you go past like the halfway point of mid, try ward, but honestly I think your warding was okay. I think CSing under tower, or just like CSing in general, so under tower, like finding farm in mid game, like mid game, try not to share like golden XP. I think also just like value your life like way higher, like you really need to not die. And yeah, maybe like prioritizing CS higher as well. And then in teamfights, I think I'm just gonna put teamfight identity. Just like Kassadin, he's like a flanking burst champ. And that means like you kind of need to like hide in bushes, like wait for engages, you know, wait for them to use cooldowns, like all that sort of stuff. You don't just like start a fight front to back on Kassadin, because that doesn't really work. So I think you will see a massive improvement if you just fix your build, to be honest. Like if you fix your runes in your build, you will see a massive improvement. Like you actually, and what I want as a goal, I think as a goal, you should try have like finished Roa around like, I want to say 13 to 14 minutes. If you can do that, that would be really good. If you can have finished Roa plus tier around 20 minutes, I think you could honestly get it earlier, but around 20 minutes is pretty solid. And another thing is like make sure you get tier before you finish Roa. Like you want that early in the game. And I guess the last thing would be try and improve your CS. Like part of it is that you're missing it. Part of it is that you're just dead. I think if you can have 150 CS at 20 minutes and maybe like 70 to 80 CS by 10, that's really good. So yeah, fix the runes and items. If you can do these things, you'll see a really big increase. If you have any other questions, please let me know. But other than that, yeah, I'll copy this to you. And oh yeah, let me know if you mind the video being public or not. And yeah, let me know if you have any questions.